Hey, what's going on, guys? So today's actually a pretty awesome day. One thing I really want to show you guys is something that's pretty basic. I think this will apply more to like coyote guys, other than just like regular fox body guys, because this does require loading a tune. Fox body guys, it's a little bit different, mainly because it's not as easy to load a tune into a fox as it is to say like a coyote car or anything newer than 98. But what I'll be using is an Ngauge. This is an HP Tuners Ngauge, so that's what my tuner is using to tune my car's HP tuners. And we just received a tune from him, and just wanted to show you guys, kind of like walk you through it, how it goes, and it's just show you it's pretty simple. So of course you're just gonna see an email with the file in there. All you gotta do is just hit download, and that's it for your email. So after that, what I like doing is opening up two file explorers just like this. So you're gonna take that one bass break-in tune, so that's the tune that we got for this car, and so this is just gonna be like your downloads open, and this one's gonna be the Ngauge that's open, the SD card out of the Ngauge. So you're gonna go over to custom files, make sure that's open. I already dragged it over. All I gotta do is just click and hold and just drag it over to the Ngauge. And that's pretty much it. After that, you can just go ahead, close out, make sure you properly eject your device, because we don't want to corrupt any of the information on here, just because that can be possible. I think it's due to like some kind of like static electricity, or just because the computer is currently reading and writing onto the SD card. So when you pull it out, you don't want it to have like a small little bit of static electricity or some other stuff. I forget what really goes on, so don't quote me on the whole static electricity, but that's my theory. And it could corrupt your files. So a corrupted file could possibly mess up some other stuff on your ECU, so careful with that. So next thing we're gonna do is just go ahead, plug it into the SCT device. Should be right here on the side somewhere, but yeah, there it goes. So you got your little port for your SD card. I'm just gonna go ahead and plug it in right now because it's a little awkward to do with one hand, and I'll show you once the SCT device powers up. Okay, so we got the SD card inside the SCT device. Tapped the screen so it came on. It's plugged into the OBD2 port, so I'm just gonna go ahead, key on. So it's gonna ask me if key's on. Just say yep, connect. And then of course I have mine set to just go straight to my gauges. So from here, I just exit the gauges, go to tuning, and then we're just gonna load a tune. So there it is, my bass break-in ENC tune, 1 of 1, because I deleted the rest. So just gonna hit flash tune. It says this will take approximately 3 minutes. Just keep hitting yes, turn key on, do not start engine. That's where I got it. Now from here, it's the Ngauge is actually gonna start reflashing the ECU, so it's gonna delete any little bit of like stored codes, anything like that, and it's gonna pull the old file out of whatever's in there, store it, and then load the new tune. So if this was like a stock car, it would pull the stock file out, and it would store it in itself. So if you ever return back to stock, you have your stock file, and then it's gonna start loading the custom tune that you received from your tuner. Now, one thing I do recommend is if you have any kind of an older battery, anything like a couple years older, I recommend putting it on just a simple battery charger. Nothing crazy, just something to make sure that you do maintain 12 volts, because this is a long process of just having your car keyed on. It could drain your battery a little bit. 9 times out of 10 that's never going to happen, but if your battery is older and can't really sustain the charge as easy as others, when you have like the key on with all your electronics going, do your best to kind of turn off your stereo, anything like that, just so you're not drawing any extra power from the battery. while it's loading the tune, because if your battery does decide to go dead, then it could corrupt the file while it's being loaded. So it could give you an issue, and you may not think of the battery being the cause of it, versus like thinking that like the tune is bad or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead. It's actually almost done. So once this is loaded, I'll show you what to do next. So we'll give it a couple minutes to just finish up what it's doing, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so it just finished up. Usually you may be able to tell when it finishes up because your fuel pump will kick on a couple times and you'll hear a couple little things going on. But it says tune installed successfully. Turn the key off for 10 seconds and then start the vehicle. So we're gonna go ahead and say okay. We're gonna turn the key off for 10 seconds. Alright, I think that's a little bit longer than 10 seconds, counting it by looking at the timer on the screen of my GoPro. So, just gonna go ahead and start her up. Now this is E85, so this car has been sitting a minute. So, oh, let's give her one more shot. There we go. Yeah, anybody who runs the 85 and has their car sit for a minute, those cold starts can be a little bit tricky. Also, I think my fuel rails are still 100% empty, so it might take a few tries to prime those fuel rails. But right now, the car is actually sounding very smoothly. No weird pops like I was getting before. The car's not dying. It's actually running really nice. So right now I'm waiting for the gauges to come up, idling at 900 RPM, nothing too bad. Short-term fuel temps look a lot better than they did before. Nothing on long-term fuel temps, but so now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just give it a minute, get a little bit of temperature in the engine. It seems like the short-term fuel temps are just off by just a hair, because it should be like closer to 0. As you want it as close to 0 as possible, or at least under the 10 from what I've heard. So this will require me to data log it. So how do you data log? Well, on my device it's actually pretty simple. Tap the screen, hit start log. You see the little record button? It's actually recording everything that's happening in the motor right now. All the signals that I have selected on the screen, it's actually currently recording those signals all at the same time and showing what each one is doing independently and what happens when one moves in to the other one. So the tuner is going to be able to, I guess, decode all of that and be able to make adjustments as he goes. You'll probably see that maybe it needs a little bit more fuel here, maybe it needs a little less spark there. You'll make those adjustments and he'll probably send you a corrected file, and then you just start the process all over again. You just keep doing that process until you pretty much whittle it all the way down till there's nothing left for any corrections that are needed, and you have a perfect running motor. So I think this is long enough for a data log. I'm just gonna tap the screen, it stops. Awesome. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now, shut the car off and just do key on and exit my gauges. Now this is another way that you can actually load the tunes and pull the files. So usually your Ngauge comes with like I believe this is a micro USB cable. It's just USB to micro USB, just kind of like the old school phone chargers, or if you had a DS, same cable. So you're just gonna plug it in the front, just like that. Then you're just gonna go to diagnostics and then USB SD. Then it's gonna say USB SD card active. And then check it out, my Ngauge just popped up on my computer. So I'm gonna say I want to open those files, and there it is. I have some logs saved, so I gotta delete all those so I can start fresh. But my newest log is this one, log number 61. So I'm gonna go back to my email, reply to him, and I will drag that log over, that file over to my email, and just email it to him. I'm just gonna tell him, here's a log of how it was idling. He didn't have any instructions for me other than just to let it idle. Your tuner might tell you to do like a wide open throttle pull, or just a pull from 1,000 to 5,000. When it comes to these instructions, do your best to follow them to the letter. You do not want to do a crazy wide open throttle pull when it should just be like they just wanted an idle log when they were just working on the idle, because that area of the tune may not be refined yet. So try not to get ahead of yourself, because that could damage your engine. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead, reply to his email with a log for me, and from there on probably go back and forth, and we may be even able to drive this car later today. So I think hopefully you guys learned something from there. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going with this, and we'll see if we can drive it. Hey, what's up? So this is future me. So I gotta end the video here. Some shit happened, nothing with the engine. Engine's running great. I actually did put on about 250 miles already. This is about, I'd say, a week later. Just breaking in the clutch, everything else. But some shit happened that past me may have been a little bit nervous, a little bit jittery about driving the car for the first time. He may have forgot to have done something. So this is all on past me. I'm gonna blame that guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. A little bit on a cliff note. So on the next episode, I'll do my best to update you guys on everything that happened and actually tell the full story. So I'm not gonna try and cut you guys short. I think this is a whole other video worthy. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, and I'll catch you guys later.